need to get a motion.
I make a motion that you take over tonight for Rick.
Okay,
I'll second.
all for it.
Yates.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just wanted to mention that the mayor, he's not here tonight because he's got to be out. His wife Joyce has had some medical procedures done and seems like everything's going okay. Just want to let everyone know. And also I need to remind everyone that's watching to go to YouTube for the coverage of the meetings. They've been on Facebook, but they're going to be on YouTube. Okay, we got approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on April 19th.
I second.
All four?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we've got the approval and ratification of the bills. Billy, you got any questions on the bills?
I don't, I so move unless Moon, you get yours taken care of or whatever you need. I'll make a motion to accept.
Second by Moon. All in favor?
Aye.
We have a second and final reading of the rezoning request for RZ-21-104.
All right, second reading, an ordinance amending and adopting an amended zoning map entitled Zoning Map, Leitchfield, Kentucky, by changing the district classification of the property located in Leitchfield, Kentucky as hereinafter described from C-1 highway commercial to R-2 single family medium density. Whereas the Leitchfield Planning Commission of Leitchfield, Kentucky on April 12, 2021 held a public hearing on application number RZ-21-104. The property is currently owned by Kevin Brooks and is designated as property having a PVA number 075-07-00-021, being more particularly described in Deed Book 498, page 434, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 39 Shrewsbury Road, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from a C-1 highway commercial to R-2 single-family medium density, and whereas City Council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Leitchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference, and now therefore be it ordained by the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky as follows. Boundaries of the district is shown on district map entitled Zoning Map, Leitchfield, Kentucky. Being same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereof, as fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated April 12, 2021 to the Leitchfield City Council. So the property is described as follows. Property description. Refer to property description PVA number 075-07-00-021, Deed Book 498, page 434, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 39 Shrewsbury Road, Litchfield, Kentucky 42754. Now zoned R-2 single family medium density after the adoption of this ordinance. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect following publication as required by law. This ordinance or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are repealed to the extent of such conflict. Given a second reading and duly enacted by the legislative body of the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky on the 3rd day of May 2021 after first being read on the 19th day of April 2021. And
Second. All in favor?
All in favor?
yeah, roll call.
Oh,
Move.
Yay.
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 Has anybody looked over the financial report?
If you didn't get a chance to look over it, we can hold
What do you recommend?
I recommend that we accept it.
Accept it the way it is?
Yes, it is.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Review the insurance renewal for approval. Has anyone looked over the insurance? Have any questions?
And I'll pass this out Thursday night at the utility commission too. But, just to kind of go over it real quick, it doesn't look like there's much change. We only had a 0.09% increase in our premium. So that was great. It looks like our deductibles all stay the same. The only thing I see is the retail 30-day supply on the prescription drug plan. There is a change there. You'll see that in your packet. Also, on your dental and vision, it doesn't look like there's much of a change. That's on page 5. So my recommendations when we get ready to approve it, after you all have time to review it at the next meeting, would be to keep everything the same and just go with the renewal payment that they sent us.
Okay. So we're going to review this till the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda is visitors. Do we have any visitors?
How about you, Tammy? Are you a visitor?
Okay, looks like we've got unfinished business or old business. Anybody got anything?
I have something. I was gonna see what you all thought about reaching back out to KLC. We had talked about doing some strategic planning once we got into the new building. So I just wanted to see what you all thought about restarting that conversation with them and seeing if we could get something going now that we're here and it's new and fresh and kind of getting a plan together for the city, setting some goals and that way we're all kind of working towards the same thing.
Didn't we have a couple of those people come down and talk to us about that?
Yeah, they came virtually and talked to
Yes.
us, and the mayor said he wanted to wait until we were in the new building
Right.
since we had so much going on. So I just wanted to see if you all would be okay with me reaching back out and kind of starting that conversation again and seeing if we could get something going.
I think it'd be okay.
Okay.
Everybody think it's okay?
Good deal.
Yep.
Any other old business?
West on the sidewalk out there, the truck damage, you ever do anything on that?
Yeah, we're actually gonna start next week on trying to fix that one back. I think I can do it without tearing everything out. Just go in and take out what's broke. And we still haven't heard from the insurance company, but we're gonna have to just fix it and send them a bill.
Fix it, send them a bill.
Yeah,
If
hopefully
they don't pay it, give it to her lady.
We'll deal with it then. Hopefully everything, like I said, is gonna start with our concrete.
I seen a lady pushed a stroller the other day and went over the
Yeah.
grass.
You know, I think if I fix it like it is, I won't have to get a permit through the state. If I tear it out, then I have to have a permit from them. It's on there right away.
Hey, Wesley, do you have like a call crew or something, like if storms get bad tonight like they're predicting, do you have somebody that you can immediately call?
I've got 3 or 4 guys that live close that can do everything that I need to do if something happens. So they're usually available about any time I need to call them. So I've got, I don't know, maybe 5 total.
Good deal.
Billy, you got any old business?
No, sir.
Jessica?
No, sir.
Clayton?
Wes, the ditches, I know you've got a lot going on and everything, but you have any idea when they'll get the ditches all cleaned out or dug out or
We're
what?
kind of taking them, the worst ones as we can and try to work them in between
Sure.
everything else. Of course, I've only
Sure.
got one guy that can operate, so
Oh, okay,
he's kind of moved from spot to spot, but
right,
we're gonna gradually try to work in as many as we can. I know right now that whenever we get a good rain, everything floods, but, you know, the ones that we can get out and can unstop or, you know, fix something, we'll try to do
Right.
them first.
Can
okay.
some of them eased
Appreciate
off
it.
some since the work we've done, like Cave Mill?
Yes, Cave Mills really worked very well since the state come in and put that tile
Right.
in.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's flooded since then. I know it gets deep on
Really?
the sides, but it's never come across and touched. So it really helped out a lot.
What about Floyd Street down at the end where it goes, turns into the factories?
Whenever they fixed that, whenever Scotty's did, I guess, when Campbell had to have that done, that took care of the majority of that down there. And then we still have a problem up towards where Floyd makes the turn by the apartments.
Off of Kelly?
Yeah, and we've got a work order to put a tile in across from those apartments across to the south side of Floyd, I guess you would say, to kind of help divert some of that water from going down that side.
Okay.
So hopefully
Moon,
we'll take care of it.
you got any old business? Lori, you got anything?
I just wanted to give the council an update on the code enforcement board. I had hoped to have everybody a copy of the Franklin, but the printer was giving issues. So what I'm gonna do is scan this and email it to everybody. If you have issues with email, you don't wanna look at, I know some people prefer, I know personally, I'd rather just have it on the laptop to look at all the time. But if you want a hard copy, I'm gonna make copies and leave down here at City Hall. What I'm gonna kinda do is give everybody some homework of just reading through. Next time we have a meeting, I'd like to just work out some issues before I present it. I'd like to do a draft before a first reading. That way, you know, just because one county does it that way doesn't mean we don't have to do it differently. Some of the big things to consider is notice. There's different ways to give notice to people that violate. There's different time frames. Even setting up a code enforcement board, we can do that differently. Also, something that is going to have to be in place when we take this step, and if it passes that we do the code enforcement board, there's going to be an online system. So it's something that I want to do a step at a time and make sure we're doing it correctly. So between now and the next meeting, I'm going to get these emailed, or you can pick up a hard copy and you can just look through. And if you have questions, you know, reach out to me, because it's going to be a long drafting process on this. And Tyler and I have a meeting set up for this week, and so we're hoping, my goal is to have this in effect by fall, so.
So Tyler, are you gonna look at it this week too and make recommendations? Because I think what your input will mean a lot to us, because you're the one that's actually out there doing the enforcing.
Yeah, I've made a lot of notes and things over the last 9 months or so. Some things that I think we need to change with our own codes and adopt them. Just mainly some wording and things like that being changed within our codes. But, you know, at our meeting Thursday, we'll discuss those things as well.
Yeah, they just can't hear on the video, so I was gonna get you the microphone, but if you're wrapped up there.
David, have you got any old business?
No, sir.
Tammy?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. What about new business, Billy?
No, sir.
Jessica?
Of course I do. No, I just want to remind everyone that Saturday, May 15th is the Art in the Park event that's at Bevel Park. It's going to be on I believe, the Veterans Memorial side of the park. So this will be like one of the first events that's been held in person since COVID. It supports the Grayson County Alliance. So if you need something to do that day, be sure and come out, because it's for a good cause.
Tootie, I do want to tell Tammy that we had a little get-together yesterday in the park, and all the fields being full, all the people there, 50 people fishing. It was cool. The park looked super nice. The pavilions were nice. People everywhere, commenting all the time. You know, probably 100 walking the track. It was really neat. So, yes, thank you guys and you for what you do there.
Thank you. As she mentioned, Art in the Park is called Upper Bevel, so most people go there on the weekend, on Saturday for picnics.
Oh, you gotta need a microphone.
Put her on the podium.
For Art in the Park, it's on Upper Bevel. You will park at the baseball parking lot. However, most people that go up there to do picnics and stuff on Saturday won't really have the luxury of using the main part of the Upper Bevel. So I just want them to be aware that it will be pretty crowded over there to maybe hold off till Sunday on your picnics.
Margie, you got any new business?
No, sir.
Clayton?
No, sir.
Moon? Lori, you got any new business? Earlene?
No.
David?
No, sir.
How's it working out, Lori?
The new building? If I could ever get settled, really good. Now, there's just a few things we've had some issues with, that's kind of kept my attention really focused on the building and not everything else that I need to be doing. We've had some issues with air conditioning, a few leaks and stuff that I've had to call back and have them come to look into. But we're getting settled in and we really love it down here. So a few more weeks and we are, have all those kinks all worked out.
Good deal.
Good deal.
You keep an eye on your drop box at the old city
Yes,
hall.
we do.
Seen a guy up there the other day, I guess he put his paper in it.
Yeah, well, we've got it all taped off, so they shouldn't be able to get anything in it. We've got signs
He
up
was
there,
standing there
so.
looking at it.
Was it you? It's probably him. Yeah, that guy would have been him.
Do we have any other business?
I do have one thing I want to bring up. I guess I need that mic again, right?
Mark says you need to be at the podium.
Okay. So, this year, because we missed a year with the LAC, it was shut down, a lot of the kids that would come back normally have gotten other jobs. We were looking through, and I noticed on Red Cross that they allow 15-year-olds to do lifeguard training. Our rule was 16. So I brought this before tourism, and they seemed pretty comfortable with it, but it was recommended that I bring it before city council. My idea of, if I train a 15-year-old, then I may have them longer. I could have them for 4 years. Usually, the most that they usually make is 2 years. Sometimes, of course, Austin was an exception. He was there for 4 years, but we usually lose them after 2 years. So if I could start them at 15, I could have them 15, 16, 17, possibly 18, and maybe one of them would come back and be a manager for a couple of years too. So I just wanted to bring that before you guys to see if you feel comfortable with us. I mean, they're trained. If they can't pass the test,
Yeah.
then they're not certified. So it's not like we're just throwing them on a stand and telling them to save somebody's life. They're getting full training. So I just wanted to see how you felt comfortable with it. It's not something I'll do this year, but next year I think it's a good thing to approach.
Okay.
Do you get into labor laws when you do 15 and? through
Well, I have the
summer?
KLC guidelines, and they did state, they said 14, 15, but I'm not going to put a 14-year-old
No,
on a
I don't-
stand.
I don't-
But, I mean, I would strategically place the younger ones in between and try to not to put them into the, you know, the more, areas where we have the more issues. So that is just something I wanted to bring across, just because I think it'd be a great idea to get them trained and, you know,
I think if they can pass the standards that
Yeah.
they set, that they, yeah, and
that they'd be a good option. I mean, I'm short this year.
I was gonna ask, are you set up for this year?
I'm short. I have 18 lifeguards, and the minimum they really wanted us, not that it's a restriction, but the minimum they suggested that we should have 20. 18's doable, they're just gonna have to work more hours. But
and some of them may not mind that.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
We may
some
be
of- some
okay
of them
this
don't like
year.
work.
Right.
Usually we have 25, and then we have some that don't barely get any hours, so they don't really get a lot of training when you're out on the, on deck. So I'm thinking we should be okay this year, but I just want to leave this open for next year, that maybe we can bring in some 15-year-olds and train them as lifeguards.
Okay,
Okay?
yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else got anything? Need a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
All in favor?
All right.